I'll be surprised. So you're carrying around $100 billion in cash money under the full faith and credit of the United States government in your briefcase. Okay. Did that make an impression, saying it that way? Yeah. Yeah. If you can move a court into equity, which is into the private, in chamber, in camera, it's not in the public anymore. You have to use the right words. You have to use questions, not statements. And you have to move the court into the private. You will never say words like, for the record, because it ain't. You'll never say words like, on the record, in the public, anything. Those words never come out of your vocabulary. If you do, you've lost. You have to use the exact wording when you're in equity. And you have to move the court into equity to use the bond. This is your trust document. This is what repairs the man's foot. This is what does everything from that point on. Because for him, it's probably $1 billion. I'm guessing, because I haven't looked it up. But that's pretty close. You're a monkey wrench? Okay. You're right. But you don't know who the United States of America government is. It's you. Are you? It's you. It ain't them. You're the beneficiary. Doesn't matter. It's held in trust. It's held in trust above the United States. The United States only has money in their account because royal families created a trust, put their gold and silver in the trust, and opened the account with it, guaranteeing all of this by hundreds of trillions in gold and silver. These guys are just the co-trustees. That's it. You are the co-trustee, the co-beneficiary, and the only signatory officer. This is why it takes 3 signatures to put a man in prison. Because you have to sign, or whoever you gave your power of attorney to has to sign, because it's all about the trust matter before the court. Everything is a trust matter before the court. They can't even operate in commerce. They can't create a bond. The bank can do nothing with your name on it without your signature. Nothing. You are the government. Every constitution tells you so. Yes, it is. Your life. The fact you were born. It's right here. It's the very first document, your birth certificate. That's what it's based on. The government owns nothing. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, no. You better learn that one. That's part of the problem. That's part of the reason you probably don't have your estate yet. United States government, listen to what I'm about to say real close. United States government only exists in commerce to operate the affairs of the trust, of the public charitable trust, for the behalf of the beneficiaries. That's it. And who created the trust? God did. Do you know the trust was created long before the United States? Long before the United States Corporation. That's why the Vatican held all the trusts, because they held all the souls. Without the unum sanctum, they couldn't even hold the trust. They couldn't even create a corporation. They had to claim the soul. So all you have to do is claim your soul back. That's it. And then it's yours. You got to claim the property. The property originated with God, given it as a gift to your parents. It's called conception, which is birth. And that was given to you by God. You're missing the point. Only because you don't claim it, then it's their property. They created a false fictional title until you claimed it. You know what he did? He's claimed it without claiming it. He's done the preliminary paperwork of the application, and now he's just got to go make the claim, and then this bond exists. And is based upon the gold and silver of King Solomon. You understand that? Governments can't exist. Look at the Law of Nations by Vattel. Nations cannot exist without trust. Period. What is, hold on. All right, hold on. Let's listen to this real close. This man just asked, where does he go to claim it? Look, there's reasons why I don't do this in a class 1. Okay? You ain't ready. I don't even want you to leave here thinking, ooh, this is exciting. I'm ready for it. People call me if they're ready. Usually it's out of greed or desperation. They're in debt so bad, they're having so many problems, they're desperate. I ain't going to teach them how to claim their trust if they're desperate or they're greedy. Period. You can't. Understand that. To move from the decedent to the creditor requires some effort. How about proof that you're even alive? Are you? Have you taken dominion? Have you proved that you're alive? Do you know how to operate? Do you know that the trust is a partnership? Do you know how a trust works? Do you know the government's part of the partnership? Do you know it's you and the probate judge as partners? He's representing the corporation, the United States, that is the bank that's holding, that it issued the bond, is holding the bond funds for the benefit of the beneficiary. And he's been managing his whole time, your whole life, and he's tired of it. He wants you to claim it. Take some of the damn responsibility. Start being a signatory. Because up to now, you've just been signing applications. It's not the licenses that get you in trouble. It's not the driver's license that gets you in trouble. It's the driver's license application that got you in trouble. It's not the passport that gets you in trouble. It's the passport application that got you in trouble. It's not the birth certificate that gets you in trouble. It was the application your mom signed that started the trouble. Or did it? It did if you're uneducated. It's trouble. If you're educated, it was a wonderful thing for mama to do. Okay, but if you're not, it's trouble. The marriage license. It's not the marriage license that gets you in trouble. It's the marriage license application that got you in trouble. On and on and on. It's not the credit card that got you in trouble. It's the credit card application you sign with its terrible terms and conditions as a debtor. What about a mortgage? Do you know what a morgue is? It's a place dead people go. A mortgage is a death pledge. Why get a mortgage? Why get a mortgage and sign a mortgage application with a promise to repay under terrible terms and conditions and interest rates and usury charges? Why do that? Why not just go sign your name on a promissory note, walk into the credit side of the bank, give them 10 points for their profits, buy the house, have them trade on it, give it back to you in 90 days so that you can sign the authorization, send it to the Treasury. Treasury reimburse the bank. They've traded on it for 90 days. They've made a profit. You gave them 10 points, and your house is paid off in full. And you don't have monthly payments. Because all the monthly payment is, the house was paid off in full anyway, the day one. As soon as the 72-hour right of rescission and they closed, the house was paid in full. And you're paying them 30 years of management fees. They already took the money out of your account. You know how I know that? Because it's illegal for a bank to take money out of their customers' accounts. Well, up until Biden, he signed an executive order allowing them to do that if they should get in trouble. And now you could run a risk of losing all your money at the bank, where before it was all FDIC insured. Now, if you look at your new Wells Fargo disclosures, it says it's not an investment account, it's not FDIC insured, it's not. And you run a risk of losing your investment. And it's just on your checking account. So don't keep any more money in the bank than you can afford to gamble with. Because they could take it tomorrow, and they just might. So you can operate as a creditor, you can operate as a debtor, and the only difference is how you operate. And everybody's been trained to operate as a debtor, not as a creditor. There's a big difference. You know why it's called a credit report? Experian and TransUnion and Equifax you have a credit report and it's scored. Do you know why it's called a credit report? Because it's a list of companies you lent money to. And they gave you a debt note in exchange, called the Federal Reserve notes. They might have given you a stack of them. But it's a credit report. It's not a debit report. Do you make deposits in the bank or do you make deposits in the bank? Come on, guys, learn the language. I'm not trying to be hard on you. I'm trying to teach you. Most people take a deposit slip, fill it out, give them some debt notes, and send it in. And it's a deposit. They're taught to operate that's money. But the symbol of fiat currency is that. The symbol of real money is that. It's a keystroke on their computer. Control 6. You see what? No, don't write that down. Don't write Control 6. I could be wrong. Look it up for yourself. It's a keystroke. I'm telling you, that's it. Yeah. 12-411. Title 12, Section 411. United States Code. Look, it's nobody in here's fault. Not one person was taught in kindergarten through 12th grade how to act as a creditor. We were never taught that every piece of paper has a debit and a credit side to it. We were never taught the 3 jurisdictions of law. There's so many things we were never taught. yeah, we went through 13 years of school and nobody learned any damn thing that was correct. Hardly at all. It drives me crazy. I used to do that all the time. I don't have time to do that anymore. I can either go out and I can wake the people up and they can learn to study for themselves. They can follow the Telegram channel. We have so many tools available to us now. Remember when I did it? I had to read books. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have internet. My first cell phone was an Alpine in a car bag that you had to plug into a cigarette lighter. Shut up, I'm old. There was no internet. There was no instant search and, oh, there's the answer. I had to sometimes go to Washington, D.C. and sit down in the National Archives to learn this stuff. I had to order books. Bonnie was telling me that the last jail she was at had a law library. She goes, David, you'll never believe it. It's 4 shelves of books. That's their law library. She goes, it's about 1/1000th of what we have in our office. And I've read all those books in our office. Tony's been in our office. How many books are in there in those boxes? We got whole entire rooms full of books in boxes stacked this high. I had to get it all out of that. You don't know how lucky you guys are. I didn't have somebody like me up here that knew any of that crap. You guys got all the advantages in the world right now and you don't know it. There is so much information that you can be taught. It's all verifiable. You can buy it. I paid more than $100 for some of those law books. I paid more than $200 for some of those law books. In fact, I paid $50,000 for one set of law books. No. It'd be about that thick. But I'm telling you, there's enough in there to go teach everybody with and get going, get started, go take care of your families, teach your children, teach your brothers and sisters, your siblings, your aunts and uncles and cousins, and all your neighbors, get them going. There's 337 million people in this country dying quickly. Adult sudden death syndrome? Are you kidding me? That's a thing. Look at the actuarial tables, how fast they're going. Talk to the corners and the flower shops. They'll tell you how fast people are dying right now. Okay? What we need to do is protect each other, protect ourselves, protect each other, protect our communities, our close-knit people, the people that think like we think, and find a way to survive everything that's coming. Because the Bar Association and the bankers know it is over for them. And now, because of this conversation, I'm going to tell you something I wasn't going to tell you. But the military is in almost every city in America right now. And it's happening right now as we speak. Ospreys have landed in Sacramento downtown. Almost every big city in America, the military's there. And everything started to happen today. Okay? And I wasn't going to bring that up at all. Nope. Okay, I started with this. 18, it almost seems like it doesn't matter right this minute. Title 18, Section 241 and 242 is incredibly important to understand because we can use it against them. And if you put Title 42, 241 and 242, that's the civil side. See, people got to know the United States Code. All right, who's playing with their keys? You said that. All right. Okay. Title 8 of the United States Code is what? Statuses and definitions and things like that. Title 18 is what? Criminal. Title 26 is what? The IRS code. Okay. Title 42 is what? Civil. Title 26, very important. Yeah, IRS. On and on and on. We need to know our United States Code because it is our tool in our tool belt. We need to have tools in our tool belt. I always have a few, tools in our tool belt. And that protects us. One of the things I did when Bill Barr was in office is I went to him and I said, I'd like you to do me a favor. In a PDF format that anyone can download off your website, on your Department of Justice letterhead, I would like you to put some of the titles that people need to know to hold public servants accountable. And I would like you to put the title at the bottom of the page and a summary by the Department of Justice at the top of the page in easy to understand language for the people. And make it a PDF file and make it available on your website. And he did it. Really cool. Summary. Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law. What is something that's colorable? A fallacy. Color of law is fallacy law. What is fallacy law? Rules, codes, statutes, and ordinances and executive orders are actually fallacy law. They're not law. They're non-positive law. They're laws that have not been enacted into law.
What?
Statutes haven't been enacted into law. That's a mandate. Where's the word mandate come out of? Comes out of the Mason's Manual. What is I had this up on the board earlier several times now, at least twice. The legislative, the judicial, and the administrative branch, which is now the ex-administrative branch, executive branch, ex-administrative branch, right? That's what happens when you have an X. Oh God, I just forgot where I was going. Ooh. Yeah. A mandate, an ordinance, a rule, a code, a statute. All those are not law. The Supreme Court tells you that in multiple cases that they're not law. They're policy, essentially. And they're for employees of the corporation to follow, and you volunteer to be an employee by your own consent of the government. And that's how governments operate. It's literally that simple. Okay, I'm about to tell you that. Thank you. That was perfect. Good timing. I needed you right there at that moment. You came through. All right. What book does the legislative branch of government operate under? Every February they come out and they're available for sale for a lot of money. What book do they operate under? You can buy them on Amazon. The 2023 Mason's Manual for Legislative Procedures. That is what our legislator operates on. The 2023 Legislative Manual for procedure. What does the judicial branch operate on? The 2023 Mason's Manual for Judicial Procedure. Now they have laws to go by too, called canon laws, jurisprudence, on and on and on. But this is their policy that they operate under. What does the executive branch operate under? The 2023 Mason's Manual for Administrative and Executive Procedures. Once you figure that out, and when you figure out at least 95% of your police departments are Masons, and all of your attorneys are, and most of your judges, they all are. A lot of your county commissioners, your city managers, your mayors, your governors,
Lord.
they're all Masons. Once you understand how the Masons work, that there's 34 degrees down to 1, and now they're starting people at level 3 usually, and there's 34 degrees, and then right here there's Illuminati, and there's 27 degrees, and right here there's a council of 12 called Metatron, Cube, and then there's a council of 8, and that's the order of the world, control, right there. And these guys down here, they don't know much about anything about what's going on. These guys in here know very little. These guys are all your order followers, your patrol deputies, and guys that obey the orders of these guys, who 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 obey the orders of these guys. You kind of know you're over the target when a message is passed to you. And it's from these guys down here, passed up to these guys right here. And these guys right here make sure one of your people passes it on to you, so you get the message. And you know it's even more important when they put something that you plaster all over, like the civil flag of peace, on the message. And this is coming from Metatron's Cube 12. And it's from his people saying, "Sir, we blasted every satellite beam out of him, hit him with every psyop in the book, isolated him and left him adrift in an insane world, isolated him from his wife. Yet he continues to get up every day, and with a smile on his face, he persists in relative serenity I cannot explain it. I hate him for it, but I'm afraid this man may be unbreakable. It's the best comment I ever had.
Compliment.